the form ever since the fall of Saddam Hussein. The Speaker of Parliament's a Sunni, the President is a Kurd, and the Prime Minister is a Shia. But there are various stripes of Shias in Iraq.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift in this 2003 model, Francois, because in this jockeying for positions, something interesting has happened. Two traditional parties failed to get their men into the top jobs. So for the first time since 2005, when those elections were held after the fall of Saddam Hussein, the Dawa party was always the one that provided the prime minister designate. Now, for the first time, Dawa has not managed to provide the prime minister designate. Also, the Democratic Party of Kurdistan did not get their man into the president's post, although, as you said, it's still a Kurd, but not the one that the Democratic Party of Kurdistan were pushing for. So basically, we have a situation for the first time since 2005 where two of these top jobs, the Prime Minister and the President, are going to people who did not come from the formations in Parliament that traditionally provide those two roles. So clearly, we have something shifting in this post-2003 model. We have two technocrats in these top jobs who, according to analysts, don't have a real social base, which is either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it and what you want from politics in Baghdad at this point.
Iraq, which fares poorly on corruption indexes, there's the feeling that those parties have been pushed aside in part because of a rejection of corruption. And one man who's playing kingmaker in all this is a familiar face.
Yeah, that's right. That's Muqtada al-Sadr, the Shiite cleric. We've been talking a lot about him ever since 2003, the ouster of Saddam Hussein. He's still got a big power base in the southeast, and actually his list came top in the parliamentary election of May 2018, so May of this year. Now, he was actually pushing for this sort of technocratic solution that he's got now with these two nominations, the Prime Minister and the President. So he seems to be getting what he wanted. Does that suggest that perhaps it will be easier for him to kind of pull strings if these two top jobs are technocrats without a real social base, as I said before? The other question I think is interesting is what will the Iranians and the Americans be making of this new situation? The fact that that Muqtada al-Sadr seemed to be getting what he wants from this new kind of post-2003 model in Baghdad, because remember, the US and Iran were both trying to reduce Muqtada al-Sadr's influence after those results came through in May of the parliamentary election. Senior US and Iranian officials were effectively on the same side, very unusually. They both wanted to limit Muqtada al-Sadr's influence, and so they were pushing for a future Iraqi government that would not give him much scope. Well, it seems that they're not getting what they wanted. We do have these two technocrats, and it's looking quite good in that sense, for Muqtada al-Sadr. He's certainly not someone who just dances to Iranian tunes. He's also had links with Saudi Arabia, which has had the Iranians worried. So he's kind of his own man, and he seems to getting more of a margin for maneuver now, and he's certainly going to be keeping up the pressure, Francois, with the protests we've seen in Basra against corruption, against mismanagement and government infighting.
Georgia, many thanks.